Yo, what is up, my guys? Happy New Year, the year where everything comes to fruition for you guys. So, guys, I was doing this the other day and I was like, I cannot not share this with you. This is something I'm going to teach you in this video, which I learned from a mentor years ago. A mentor of mine, it must have cost me probably I think it was $7,500 to not just learn this, but I learned this in the process. And I always say this, and I've always realized this. The more advanced and the further you go through life, the more simple it gets. The more you pay for information down the line, the more simple the information is, but the more impactful. So what I'm going to show you today, this will really resonate with you guys. And it's going to be a very actionable process that you guys can all do. You can all put into action. And you're all going to see life-changing results with. I applied this through 2024 and everything came to fruition for me. Okay, I've done this just right now. I'm going to do this for 2025. So we've got to make sure that this was your year. Now, the first thing we need to do is we need to understand, okay, why was 2024 not quite as productive as we hoped? Hopefully there were some wins in there, but chances are, sorry, my dog's just shaking around. Chances are you lacked one of these four things, maybe all four of them, right? And there's nothing wrong with that. But number one is lack of a definitive goal. Number two is lack of clarity with a strategy required. That's what we're going to talk about today. Now, I'm hoping you guys have a definitive goal, or you can go and brainstorm on that on your own. I've done plenty of other videos on it. Likewise, the positive self-talk and the action is also going to be extremely important, but we're going to be here for hours if I was to talk about all that as well. I will put a video in the description below of mine where I talk about procrastination, and that's the mindset and the paradigm shifts that you need to go through to improve that positive self-talk and action. Today, this is going to be nice and sharp. It's all about clarity, all about strategy. It's all about how you can get exactly where you want to be in 2025. So, first thing is we need to gain clarity. I'm going to show you the process in 2 seconds. You simply need a clear goal. And when you are setting this goal, guys, make sure it is a little bit delusional. I'm a big advocate for a delusional goal. I've seen it so many times. If you set a goal which is too close, like it's a goal that you think you can achieve, it's too small, because you will just underestimate the amount of intensity and effort required to get there, and it's too comfortable. You need a goal that is going to demand you to think 10x and act 100x. That's the level of action you need to be moving with, okay? Now, most people don't do this because they fear that they don't know how to do it, and that's the whole point. You don't know how to do it, and you shouldn't do. Right? If you already knew how, you'd have already done it. But if you're writing a goal right now, which is something you do know how to do, that's too small. Now, you just need to find somebody who does. Now, there's a great book, Think and Grow Rich, and this book talks about effectively specialized knowledge. One of the chapters is specialized knowledge, and you don't have to have the specialized knowledge to have the results of what specialized knowledge brings. You just have to have it in proximity. You have to have access to it. So you may have heard people talk about what's someone's net worth. Now, really smart people in this planet, when they're talking about net worth, it's not just their bank account, it's what do they have access to? Because if I can technically go, because I've got a good credit score, to the bank and get access to $5 million, and then I've also got 5 friends who at the click of my fingers could just WhatsApp me back and be like, yeah, I'll wire you $1 million. Well, that's a 10 million net worth on top of what I have. Versus someone could have a couple of mil, but know nobody and not be allowed any extra credit. Now, that's the power of having access to others who can give. It's no different when it comes to achieving your goals and acquiring the knowledge. You don't need to have the knowledge. You just need to find somebody who does. And this is the exact reason I'm where I am today. Because as much as we like to be egotistical and think we know it all ourselves and we're born with it If we were, we'd have already gotten where we want to be, right? I would not live this life in Dubai right now if I didn't go and get it off other people, because I definitely was not born with this. I was a little simp, okay? I was the skinny fat acne kid at school who everyone thought would just be a loser for the rest of his life. That's the reality. But what I was very good at was using my imagination, trusting my conscience. We're going to talk about all this today, and finding people relentlessly who did know what I needed to know. Okay? Plus, you also need to know everything else that would make it unreasonable to not achieve it. Always create a strategy where it would be impossible to fail. Most guys lack strategy, and the plan they have, they don't even believe it will work themselves. Therefore, they don't take action on it, and if they take a bit on it, they don't see results, they quit. So you got to think about it. If you've not achieved a goal yet, did you even believe it was going to work in the first place? Probably not. And that's the issue. So I'm going to show you the exact process now that I use, and it's called, I'm going to have to move this around a little bit, guys, but it's called the Elite Life Process. Okay? I've made a couple of little tweaks to it since I actually learned it initially, but it's effectively a 5-step process. So we want to go through this, okay? Phase 1 is you need to, guys, you can DM me if you want on Instagram at Tom D. Pearson. Just type me a message saying Elite Life Process, and I can send you over a resource so you can do this yourself and go through it. Otherwise, you can just use this and go off the screen. But effectively, the first thing we need to do is just tap into that goal a little bit more. Permission to dream. Now, I've put here, be a visionary. Stay in the clouds. Society teaches you not to do this. If you're staring out the window in school, everyone says, focus, focus, focus. In reality, that's the power I have. I'm a major visionary. A major visionary. My challenge is pulling everything in, okay? And this is what I'm going to teach you how to do today. So do be the visionary. Do be in the clouds. If you are not in a reality you want yet, you have to be in the clouds seeing that future reality. Visualization of that reality every day. I say to people, when I used to live in Huddersfield back in the UK before I moved to Dubai and traveled and everything like that, I used to say I would walk down the street in Huddersfield imagining I was in Dubai. I thought I was in Dubai. I was walking around with the posture and the aura as if I was already in Dubai and had already got to this level of life. So what I want you to do, guys, is visualize that version of you, not just the life and not just what you see, but different lenses as well. So I want you to see this life of you in first person, what you see, but also third person. I want you to see how you walk when you've got it. I want you to see how you communicate, how you look. What does your physique look like? What does your trim look like? What do your clothes look like? How are you showing up? How are you communicating with people? How are you leading in your career or in your business? Turn it black and white. Shift the camera angle. Come to the front, come to the back. It has to be so crystal clear. It has to be like you are watching a movie every single day in your head, guys. Now, I would get very crystal clear on this. And I mean this. You want to write this down, your exact reality. Close your eyes. Get clear. Come back and add to it as well. Write it down. Then what I would do is I personally have in my phone, I'll show you right now, I have a voice recording of me speaking out my exact reality for my next steps. So like right now, you can see here, guys, I've got a black screen here in my camera. That is a audio clip that I've run off my computer where I just spoke into my mic and I just read it out. I've got like a tune over the back of it. I just listen to it because sometimes what's hard is you're trying to give yourself that positive talk, but you can't quite speak it and you're not going to consistently do it. Whereas all you have to do is you have to say it once in an audio and mean it and be emotionally connected. And then it's so easy then to just press play and then you're hearing your own voice telling you your new reality as if it's already present. It's extremely powerful. So a combination of reading that, visualizing that, hearing that, because all words are, when you hear a word or when you see a word, what does your brain do? Your brain takes that word and puts an image in your mind. So if we want to get to our goals, we need it forefront of mind. We need those positive movie clips forefront of mind. So we need those words going in. Right now, most guys, the words are probably their current reality or a fear of even going backwards. We just want the positive images. And also, when you've got these goals, it allows you to move through your life with the ease of a yes or no at every junction. This is a skill I learned to do very ruthlessly over the last few years. And simply any single thing that comes in front of me, I'm ruthless. Yes or no? Does this, my mind just subconsciously goes, does this move me closer to my North Star goal? Yes or no? If the answer is no, I'm not doing it. So if someone said, do you want to do this evening? And I personally didn't believe that moved me closer to my North Star goal. The answer is no, guys. Fuck balance. What I do want is my goals. I want my North Star goal. I want to be growing every day. That is what fulfills men. Men need to be growing. Men need to go through self-actualization, becoming the best version of themselves, and even self-transcendence, giving back to others, just like I'm doing now or in coaching, etc. Men are born to become the best version of themselves, the most competent version of themselves, physically, mentally, knowledge-wise, and give back and lead others. True masculinity is the key to fulfillment. It's been made very toxic and stuff these days, but at its core, the biology of men is to become as competent as possible. Okay? So I make decisions on, does this move me closer, yes or no? And it's a very easy decision. I don't want to do anything. I will do nothing that could take me one step back. Nothing at all. At all. Second thing, guys, focus on the standards. So what I want you to do now, you've got this goal, you've got this vision, you've got this reality. Write down what daily non-negotiable habits would make it unreasonable. I love this. What daily non-negotiable habits would make it unreasonable to not achieve? And don't be mistaken. When I write non-negotiable, negotiable means a choice. So it's not a choice. You are doing these every day. This goal has to mean a lot to you. You have to be emotionally connected to living that life right now. Don't just pick the flat, oh, I want 10K a month, because that's what you've heard, right? It needs to be emotionally connected to you. And these habits will become very easy to be non-negotiable. I live by a set of habits every single day of the year. I was just posting in my Elite Programs app with my clients yesterday. I just put in a screenshot. Inside my app, we've obviously got the training, we've got the nutrition for my fitness guys. Same with the business guys, to be fair. But I've got like a section in the app where we've got streaks on habits, and I just run them up back to the 1st of January, one streak, and I'm going back for the 365. I will not miss my streaks, and I will not miss my goals, because I'm so connected with my goals, and I will not be beaten by the devil. I will go after it. It's the only way to be fulfilled. It's the only way to be high frequency. People talk about, Tom, how have you always got so much energy? You're always high frequency. Tom, I saw you post on your story at like 2 a.m. last night and you woke up at 3:30. I'm like, yeah, I had shit to do. I hadn't finished my non-negotiables. I did them and I'm back up and I'm still full of energy. Because I'm high frequency, because I'm building trust with myself, I'm becoming better. We'll talk about that shortly. The next thing I want you to talk about is briefly what we've already mentioned, which is unlocking resources. Now, I said at the start of this video, you don't need to know how, but you need to find someone else that needs to know how. Okay? So this applies to anything. Your goal could be, right now, it could be fitness. It could be getting in the shape of your life. That's something all men should be doing. Career. Again, all men should be doing, but obviously there's multiple industries. It could be building a better relationship. It does not matter. But what people would make it impossible to fail at this goal? So write them down. What coaches could you work with that would guarantee, that would make it impossible to fail. Basically, by this, what I mean is, especially when you're picking coaches, don't make the mistake of picking some fucking weirdo. Pick a guy that has actually achieved what you want to achieve, and you would trade positions with. The amount of times I see people going, oh, I invested in this coach who was just a little nerd and I don't want to live anything like them, and I hope they would get me this Dubai life. And I'm like, bro, you just went to a guy who doesn't live the life you want to live and expected him to get you the life you want. Like, come on, wake up. So go to someone who has already walked the walk, right? And walking the walk, right? In whatever field you guys want to improve in. This may be multiple people. Like for me this year, as always, I've got my own fitness goals. I've got my business goals. I've got my lifestyle goals. What people will allow, and you can go even narrower. So then within my business, I may have elements within my business. Coaches, mentors, network, and I've also put skilled individuals. This is something I lent into massively as well as mentors in 2024. There was a lot of guys that I knew in my business as we were scaling the fitness and the business coaching that I needed to make hires in the back end of the business with skilled people who knew stuff that were better than me in certain areas that I could just go find who could do stuff better than I could do. And this is a big thing about scaling business and progressing and increasing income. You got to drop that ego and stop thinking that you're the best person at everything and actually go and find. And I wrote these down in January last year, and I think 3 days after doing it, I was like, God, like now I've actually just got the clarity on this. I went and spoke with him and I hired a new manager to work in my business. And it was so impactful on my business. And I just brought it to reality. So coaches, mentors, even network, maybe people you know who could help you. The mastermind principle. Network is so important. The reason in my elite fitness and elite business programs, we include the mastermind stuff on a weekly basis is because you do just want proximity. You can learn from everybody. 10 minds, 50 minds will always beat one mind. I used to be the guy who wanted to be the lone wolf. And you can get so far. You know, at the start, it's success by subtraction. You are going to have to pull away from the bad friendship group and you're going to be solo, and being solo is better than being exposed to a bad group. However, from there, you're only going so far. And as fast as possible, you want to be getting exposed to guys who are already walking the walk and other guys on the same mission as you as fast as possible. You want that masculine competition. You want that real support. You want that brotherhood. You want the mastermind. You want 10 minds, 10x the leverage to move forward. Also resources. So this could be courses. It could be things that you could buy to increase your chances. Tools, maybe. For example, one of mine was I wanted a new software in my business. Okay? Books. What books might move me closer? And then go narrow on little specific niches. Okay? The next thing's really cool as well. This is an area I'm very, very strict on. Celebrate the journey. Now, might not be what you think as I'm saying this so far. By celebrate the journey, what I would do is I would set 3 to 4 mini milestones en route to that North Star goal. So for example, hypothetically, let's say you are one of my clients watching this right now in my business program, and you are just starting with me today. You've got an idea and we're turning it into a business. And you go, right, we want to get to 100 clients this year. Okay. I would say at 25 clients, at 50 clients, at 75 and 100. Or maybe at 10 testimonials, at 20 testimonials, at 30 testimonials, at 40 testimonials. You would set a goal like that that's meaningful and it's impactful. I personally choose these ones more than finance. Actual, real, hard goals based on giving, not receiving, okay? That's what I would do. And then you allow yourself, you say, once I hit this, I will allow myself this next purchase. Maybe it's I go from economy to business. Maybe it's I go from business to first. Maybe it's I'm just going to travel in the first place. I'm now at a point where I've got location freedom. You know, one of my clients is literally just last night moved out to Dubai. When we hit a goal, move to Dubai. Boom. Lifestyle upgrades. Maybe you upgrade the pad. You know, I had this and I think I was spending $5,000 a month on rent and I went up to $14,000 a month rent. Once I hit a certain goal, I could have done it way before, but I didn't. I said, this is the thing. Most people, they have a little bit of money in the bank account and they go spend on life. The only thing where money should be going out is investing into you. You're coaching, you're mentoring, and becoming as competent as possible. The buys, the celebratory buys, should not be when you can, it's when you earn. Get very good with that. People say to me all the time, Tom, why do you not have multiple supercars right now? And I'm like, well, here's the thing. I could just go and get 2 right now, but the goals and standards I have for me and my business right now are so high. And I'm also at a point where I'm so high frequency, I don't need the material to justify myself and feel good. So I've put my baseline for when I get them so high. We'll get them this year for sure. I said this from the day I started. The year 2025, I will do it. And I've set big milestones, and I will hit those milestones, and I will get them. But I don't just get things when I can, is my point. I get things when I really earn them, not just financially. And that will make everything a lot more fulfilling, and you'll be more fulfilled. The reason being, because you've moved closer to your North Star goal. The material isn't the North Star goal, guys. The material comes of moving closer. I could go and get a supercar today, but if I'm not growing personally and professionally, I'm unfulfilled. And that's why people do. They go get the new trainers, they go get this, but I'm like, but then you might still be there and you're like, I'm still working a 9 to 5, I still feel a bit skinny fat, like I don't really like who I am. Focus on who you want to be and what you want to have achieved professionally and personally versus what do you want. That's the key to real fulfillment, guys. So celebrate the journey only at milestones. On a day-to-day, cash out, but all investments into you. I have no budget when it comes to the resources section. At any day, resources, coaches, mentors, networks, skilled individuals, tools, bucks, no cap. On me and my lifestyle, like on me, not in me, only when we've earned it based on these things that I will say at the very start of the year. Final thing, guys, on here, review goals. Minimum of 5 times a day. These have to be forefront of mind. I would do the daily audio twice a day, and I would just have like a vision board on your phone, and I would have a list of the goals and just hit them with your eyes 5 times a day. Boom. Maybe it's a trigger. Every time you sit down, every time you open the car, every time you open your phone, you have to look at these goals. And always come back to this, guys. Your calendar should always reflect those goals. So stop putting stuff. It comes back to the ease of yes or no at every junction. Is what you're doing right now moving you closer? Now, the only time it shouldn't be moving you closer is if you do work in, let's say, a 9 to 5 and you're in a completely different, there's nothing against the 9 to 5, guys. But if you're in a 9 to 5 in an industry you don't want to be in, we're speaking hypothetically, you don't want to be in that. Okay? Well, here's what I would say. Yes, but every hour around it needs to now be extremely productive towards the goal so it can actually pull you out of it and into that new industry. Okay? Now, you can still see it from a new perspective and say, okay, I'm at work, but I can still improve my communication skills. I can still improve who I am. You know, you can still always take a personal and professional improvement out of whatever you're in that you can apply to the next thing. You know, I had a client, a business client who was in a job where they were doing, I think it was recruitment. And he had some skills, he didn't want to be in it. And he took those skills and stayed productive. And then we did 10 grand with him in his very first month when he built his coaching business. And that's because he just stayed productive. And every hour out of it, his calendar reflected these goals. And this is the thing, guys. If you ever get to the thing where you've ticked your non-negotiables and you've done everything, keep going. Always do something to move you closer in some way. So if I've ticked all my non-negotiables, you've not hit your North Star goal yet. So there's something that can move you closer. Maybe it's just you go outside and you just go on a run. Maybe it's you go boxing. Maybe you go back to the gym. Maybe you smash out some press-ups. Maybe you study. Maybe you make a bit more content. It would depend on the industry you're in, guys. But for coaches, maybe you make some more content. Right? Maybe you jump in a new course. Maybe you work with a new coach. Like, just keep moving at velocity. Never underestimate the power of momentum. Just velocity, velocity, velocity. Don't slow down. You should, every minute, if you just find yourself sat there and you're like, whoa, I'm not at my goal yet. There is something I could do that would move me closer. Even if it is just drop to the floor and do some press-ups. You have to be more competent. The more competent you are, the closer you get to these goals, as indirectly as it may seem. Final thing, guys. Remain disciplined daily. This is the real thing that ties it all together. And I'm going to put a bit of a different spin on discipline to you may have realized before. And this is something I intrinsically feel massively. And this is, look, discipline in itself is extremely powerful with the compound interest of actions. This is what most people talk about. Yeah, you stack the wins, you stack the habits, and it's good. And that's what achieves the goal. And yes, that is bang on. However, for me, the most impactful, powerful aspect of discipline is building the self-trust. If you feel down, if you don't trust yourself, if you hear that voice inside of you, if you start doubting yourself, you start having more fear, it's because you lack trust in yourself. It's because you lack ability, you feel like you lack competence, and that's because you've not been disciplined. You've not done what you said you were going to do. It's like if you've got the mate who always lies to you, he's soon not going to be your mate. And it's no different when it's with yourself, guys. So when you say you're going to hit that early wake up at 4 a.m., when you say you're going to hit the gym and you're going to train like an absolute savage, when you say you're going to hit your meal plan and your macros, when you say you're going to do that 2-hour work block in the evening, even if you're tired, make sure you fucking do it and don't miss it and hit those streaks. Because every day, I say this to my guys on top of just their normal stuff, when I give them the habits section, I'm like, those streaks do so much here that shifts your self-image. And as that self-image improves, what happens is you now have the ability to trust your conscience. So all of these things that we just talked about here with the resources and everything like that. Now, most people, they hear, some people aren't aware, but you guys here, I'd imagine you're doing pretty solid and you're on a mission and you do hear this conscience inside of you, right? But most people, if you don't have 100% trust, hear the conscience, but they don't act on it. And that's the only difference between losers and winners, right? And I'm not saying you're a loser in terms of you're a fucking weirdo, but a loser in terms of you have not won at your goal, okay? And that's the only difference. So don't start going to like, oh, I need something new. No, just come back to discipline. Do what you said you were going to do. So now you can trust that conscience, because I've written here, guys, your conscience is the authentic voice of God. That is your guide. That is telling you exactly where you need to go. But people don't listen, right? And if you don't listen to the guide, you cannot be helped. That is the one thing that's going to get you the exact life you want. If you can't be helped and you don't listen to it, that's when the devil owns you, right? And the devil owns you because you're undisciplined, and it's put doubt in your mind. It's put fear in your mind. Now you fear a lack of achievement. And you won't go all in. It's that simple, guys. So to tie this all together, these standards you write down here, go all in on them. And when your body, when your mind, your conscience is telling you, buy that book, travel here, improve my environment, get in the network, get the coach, I need to take my physique to the next level. I had this again, like I've got a good physique, guys. That's my business and physique and business coaching. And my conscience this year is just screaming at me, take your physique to the scariest level imaginable. And I'm like, let's do it. Let's do it. My conscience. But when I hear it, I have so much self-trust that I just go boom, bang. I also had, towards the back end of 2024, a big calling in my conscience that just came with my business. And it was like, Tom, you're going to go all in on your physique. It's like another chapter now, taking it to complete new heights and leading from the front and inspiring more people with it and just the habits. But also, I've got clients worldwide, like everywhere you can imagine, we've got clients. So my conscience was like, oh, let's bring this community. Let's bring everyone together. Let's make something real impactful. So my conscience was saying, do photo shoot masterminds, dinners, events all around the world. So straight away, I wrote it down. I looked at it and I thought, right, logistically, boom. Within 20 minutes, it was definitive. And I actually just mentioned it on my Instagram for the first time last night. There will actually be a link I'll put in the description. It will be there now for the foreseeable weeks. whilst applications come in. And we're doing a world tour. Okay, so for guys who want to be getting elite shape, there'll be 16 weeks of coaching involved. Elite physique coaching, private mentorship, calls, mastermind groups. We'll get you in the best shape. We will then have 4 different venues. There will be a UK venue, a Bali venue, a Dubai venue, and a Miami venue. We're going to be coming to all 4 this year for clients around the world and any new guys who come in. And we will be getting into absolute savage shape, all in on the physique, all in on the mindset, all in on the career, all the way into these events. And then we will run the event, and it will be day 1, it will be photo shoot in the morning, dinner in the afternoon, private dinner. Second day will be gym and content and training together in the morning, just a fucking sick morning. And then mastermind, business mastermind in the afternoon. And that was something my mind told me. My conscience said you should do these 4 locations, these 4 hotspots. It ties everyone together. You've got a big client base. Let's pull them into these venues. Let's bring more human connection to the brand. You know, you're connecting with people online. You've got a lot of online clients, but my conscience is go more in on me and let's bring everyone together. Let's build a bigger community. Let's build something that hasn't been done. And I trust myself, guys. My point to this story is I trust myself. And I will live on it. And I will act on it. And that all comes from that power of discipline. Get more attached to this power of discipline than just the compound interest itself, guys. The feeling you get in yourself and the higher frequency is crazy. Because as you build that relationship with yourself, when you've spoken to your friends so many times and you've trusted them with a secret and they've held that trust, your bond gets better and better and better. It's no different with yourself, guys. Let's get it. Let's go. If you do want access to a worksheet where you can go through this yourself, you can just DM me Elite Life Process on Instagram at Tom D. Pearson. Let's get to it, guys. 2025 is your year. I want to see you win. Even drop your goals in the comments below. Come back in a year. Let me know where you're at. Let's just win, guys. We're all here to win. We're all in the same mission. We might all be in different chapters, but the mission's the same. It's to become the best version of ourselves, the most authentic version of ourselves, and deem ourselves as successful, moving towards our own unique goals, physically, mentally, career, finances, network, relationships. Those are the pillars, guys. Let's get it. Let's go.